Greetings, YouTube adventurer. My name is Germex, and this game is Below Kryll. Hello, everybody. I'm back, and this is part 2 of mapping. That's a link that has the appropriate colors because they added those in. The devs are always adding stuff in. So there's George where we left off. Let's start the level by making a new room. A new room we can put new objectives into. So now I want to show you the other things you have available on the first floor of the game, which happen to be these funny little fellers here called the Bonon. It's kind of like a monkey and kind of like a cow. He walks back and forth completely harmless, unless he falls on you, in which case he will pound the poop out of you. There you go. We can also pop you up in the air. That's what we're going to use today. That's the puzzle element I want to build this little next part around. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, I'm trying to plan, so I'm not really sure what to do. I put this in speed up and it kills the game sound. So enjoy a little Mario 2 character selected. So there I'm like, okay, I need to get a ledge that'll be my objective, right? I need to get the Bonon to jump me up into that ledge. And it doesn't seem overly challenging, you gotta kind of work around it. Basically, I'm gonna go into my bag of tricks, which is my toolbox. I'm gonna start building the terrain and then trying to use these wood bridges, which you can jump up through and drop down through. They're very handy. So I get those set up and I'm like, okay, I think that's the right height for me to use the Bonon and jump up there. So yeah, it works. Now I've got an NPC as an objective and I've got a working puzzle at this moment. I can use the Bonon. So I want to add a twist. I don't want the Bonon to be so readily available. I'm going to make the Bonon in a separate room. Just, to add a little twist and make it so it's not so, here you go, have a free shuriken. I'm going to put some hoops in the level for you to jump through. Now, it is the first floor, so I am limited to what I have, but from what I've seen in this game so far, there is such a variety of things you can do with all the tools that have been presented that you can basically make limitless first floors. I mean, it depends on the story, depends on the tools, depends on how you choose to set it all up. You can basically create anything with the engine. I mean, this is floor 1. I'm going to show you some floor 6 stuff in my next video, and trust me, it's bonkers. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. But for now, we just have access to some simple, levers and log bridges and monkeys, and they still have a lot of complex interactions, but things get absolutely insane. For those who like to create, there's option upon option. So here I am. I've figured out what it is I wanted to do. I want to trap the Bonon in with those logs so that there will be a quest that will basically free it. So it'll follow the path I've set out for it and basically achieve the goal of giving me a catapult up to that NPC. So here we go. I put a trigger to make it stop, to make the log stop so it doesn't crush him immediately. And now I want something to catch him to direct him back into a loop of jumping on the mushroom so that once you've freed him, he will forever be where you need him to be. You got to kind of think about all these little details, and it helps to playtest. You get the idea. Okay, you can see what I thought will work actually works in practice. Sometimes when I publish a level, and before I've actually finished it, you can get into a scenario where it's actually not possible. You've overlooked something. So now I have a working puzzle. Now I can get back into no longer fast forward. Here we go. All right, it works. Excellent. So you've created the scenario that's going to enable you to get where you need to go. But now let's basically put some triggers. First, we need to block off the exit. We don't want people to just walk by and be like, oh, well, I can just ignore this because there's no reason to go up there. We're going to put an ending to this room. And, frog statues are very handy for this because you can put them in corners. And Mitsu, the ninja, he can't pull things. So if something's in a corner, you need some way to push it back. And you can use the log statues as those. Very handy. So what happens is I get a vine, I put that over there, I put the log statue on it. You can set these triggers up to NPCs after and create a storyline to progress you through the level. So for now, I'm going to just set that up, put a vine here. Now that should work in theory. You have to be mindful of the game's physics system. All right, so that's all set up perfectly. Now let's see. Just erase some of the terrain, do some cleanup, you know. Here we go. All right. And now everything seems to be in place. I need to populate it with some NPCs. Here we go. There's one for there. Usually want to try to use a variety of the NPCs so that the level doesn't get too repetitive or too confusing. Different characters really help with distinguishing an area or keeping the player on track of what's happening. So I basically give them all personalities and faces. Make that guy the hipster, and we've got the trainer dude, and we got the old guy. And now I'm gonna have to write them all some dialogue and a story that makes sense to the scenario. You don't really have to. You know, you can just write any old kind of runaround scenario and just make the objective so that in the end they can get through that frog statue. No big deal. A good way to start with a scenario is to give him names. Call him Thomas. We'll call the old guy Wrinkle. Just something for people to chuckle at when they stroll by. And we'll head down to our hipster, and we'll call him G-Money. Yeah, G-Money. It's definitely a good idea. Yeah, there he is, G-Money. He's proud of himself. He has a high respect for himself. All right, so now we've got our old guy. We need to write dialogue. We need to write a scenario. So I'll just do that off camera because, you know, that takes a lot of typos and backspacing. And all right, so now it's done. And I've added some art as well. So now I'm going to, there we go. There's a trigger on him and some dialogue. So what's going to happen is these NPCs are going to send me on a very small quest of sorts, a quest chain. The objective being some way for me to get past the frog statue into the next part of the level. So here we go. I've got them all set up with their triggers. All right. Now all I had to do is test it to make it all work properly, or to make sure it works properly. So here we go. Drop my ninja down here and progress. Ignore this guy. All right. Oh man, I'm so bummed. Joy, it's sharing time again. Hey man, you look like a guy who gets things done. Yeah, real doer of things. I owe money to Thomas. He has my beloved Bonon in custody. Take this to him for me because I can't stand his smug grin. Okay, I'll bring this to him, but only because I want to use your Bonon like a trampoline. All right. Now, Thomas. Hey, I know you. You walked right by her a moment ago. Didn't even say hi. You are uninteresting, and I'm talking to you because I need a Bonon you have captured. That's real disappointing, man. I thought we were pals. I thought we were bros. Bros, I don't even know you. You said yourself you just saw me. It was one of those pro moments, you know? Like a moment of silence for all the bros. Throws G-Money's cash at him. The next time you open your mouth, you'll achieve a permanent moment of silence. But he's freed the Bonon. Now the Bonon comes. Yes, come to me, Bonon. Come to me. Now I can use him. Aha. Eh? What's that? Nobody will help you get past the frog statue. Take my library card. It'll give you access to the front desk. That's a bit easy, Gramps. No strings attached. I'd be delighted if I had some meaningless task to give you, but not today. Well, then I'll just take this and be off. And now I'm free. All right. See? The frog statue is moved, and I'm free to go to the next area. So now I'll show you how to put an ending to a level. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab your shrine from your toolbox. The shrine is the last thing you put down, or it could be the first thing you put down. It all depends on how easily you want them to be able to access it. This will also be where they teleport in from. So when they've finished your level and they want to come back and revisit or use your level as a place to kind of like go exploring further into unexplored territory, since all the levels interconnect, you can put your shrine into an easy-to-access location, or you can make an objective of the level. In this scenario, I make it an objective. You have to run that gauntlet to access this shrine, because I'm going to block the other side. You can only access this shrine if you've gone through. Now, if you teleport into the shrine, I want a way for the people to be able to get out. That's why I'm creating a scenario where if you've been inside, you can now talk to an NPC that's next to the shrine to give you access to the exit. You want these kind of things to be really easy for the user to use. You don't want people to get confused in your level or get lost, unless you're somehow making that part of the point of the level, you know? You don't want it to just be a design flaw or an oversight. So I give it that little hump because I also want people to use this log as access to get up to the Link statue if they so choose. You know, maybe they just want to go look at it. I don't know. They can do that from above too. Sometimes it's the little conveniences, you know? So here we go. I've got the scenario worked out. I've got the vine set up. Got the frog statue in place. Put a little ladder up there so they can get out when they need to. And now all I need to do is put an NPC down that'll open the way. And the devs just added in the female NPC, the scientist, which is fantastic. A lot of variety now, so we can really create dynamic storylines with different types of characters, which is awesome. So it's just as simple as linking any kind of trigger you want to that log and then to that NPC's intro, so that when you talk to the NPC, there you go, the way is open. So teleport in and you have free access to the level, but only once you've finished it the first time. And there you go. So now the whole level is set up, and just do a little bit of cleanup and, you know, add some finer touches with a pixel brush later. It's always nice to kind of tidy up the level and just give it a bit of an extra flair, you know? Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll have another video out soon, and I'm going to be working on another series as well. Stay tuned. Bye.